Ready for the mosh pit, shaka bra.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to StrangeCast Play One vs. World Life is Strange fan podcast. This is the StrangeCast X Lost Records Journal podcast, our Patreon special from the month of November. This is episode 123. I'm one of your co-hosts, Adnan and Riaz, the Steve-hating man himself, and then my Steve-loving compatriot co-host, Adam Evalt is here. Adam, you here?
I'm here, and this past week, I played through 3 European video games, so I'm pretty cultured right now.
Ooh, you are feeling very cultured. What did you play?
One of them was Thank Goodness You're Here, which is a British game. They grew up on Monty Python, 100%. Like those writers grew up on Monty Python, dude. That's like a 1 to 2 hour game. It's pretty nice. So Thank Goodness You're Here. I played through Harold Halibut's, which is a German studio with a lot of British actors, and I would say it's a game that's modeled with actual legitimate 3D like claymation. So like it's pretty wild. It took 13 years to make. So it's another European title. And then I finally finished Still Wakes the Deep, which is coming from a Scottish studio. So I know the word bellend now.
Send me a message. I got that. I can't remember what was happening. Something happened. I just thought I got a message from Andrew. It's like, I know the word bellend. Thank you. And I was like, oh God. I was like, where did you learn that from?
So send to Liz, like every time I say a British slang, you're just like, where'd you learn that word?
Yeah.
Where'd you learn that?
It's like the pharmacy chemist thing. I was like, oh my God. I was like, where's he learned this? What are they watching? And what are they like? What's happening here? But no, very interesting. You are cultured, so that's good. And this is a very cultured podcast as well, because this is built by the Patreon users. And we'll get into that in a moment. So if you are new here, please do consider dropping subscribe on the channel, turn notification, like the video, and share with your friends. And if we're climbing to 2,300 subscribers, so if you can help us get that, it's amazing. And StrangeCast is available on all podcast services. So check us out on Spotify with a video version, Apple Podcast. Go and check us out there. Go and rate us. Go and download us to help support our podcast, and also the Lost Records Journal is available on there as well. And obviously, you can sign up to Patreon and support us. So on the 29th of November, Sam Bradley's second interview should hopefully come at some point. I'm working on that. And hopefully you enjoy watching the first part. We're now caught up to podcast scheduling at the moment, so we are now on this one. So within the time frame, we are hopefully looking to do another Patreon incentive soon. So bear with us whilst we get that. Well, thank you people who do support us on Patreon. It's really helpful. But for the uninitiated as well, this is our Patreon episode. We let the Patreon users build the podcast. We go through variations of topics. It's across 2 sides, side A and side B, and we just have a conversation about what's being said in the news. So we can go from there. But Adam, should we go into our Patreon users and see what's being said?
Yeah, no Kevin questions. No Kevin questions.
Surprisingly, the Kevin monopoly is over. Because there is Kevin Lackner, but there's no Kevin Kestis this time around, who must be busy on Thanksgiving weekend. So we have a variation. It's actually the Lost fan, Ashlyn Nala, Clarx, and then KGL, I believe, are the 4 people.
Wow.
So we've got
no
a variation
Kevin
of different ones.
Whoa.
Yes, we'll have to try and work our way into that one. I'm going to have to see where we get that. That's a big Lost Records one. Well, it's nice to see that, though. Nice little bit of engagement from them. You can go on our Patreon.
Yeah.
Again, this is for people who do want to support on Patreon. The people on Patreon are obviously very lovely, and they do engage with people. So you can go from there. Adam, is there anyone specific you'd like to pick on first? Not actually pick on. Let's just rephrase that.
Yeah, I was going to say Ashlyn. Ashlyn sent us a nice little message. So let's start with Ashlyn. Kevin never sends me anything nice.
Yeah. Do you want to tackle the big one? I think we might have to go through parts of this one.
Is this actually a question?
This is a big theory, which I thought was interesting.
Oh, man. I don't know.
Even Kevin Lackner like it, but do you know what? For now, on time purposes, we'll come back to this. If it's not unfortunately answered and we talk about it, I apologize.
Can you summarize it?
Theories are theories, Adam. It's probably best not I do this. And
okay.
as they said there as well, it's a crazy theory. So we'll be here for a while, but I think we'll leave this one for the moment and we'll come back to it depending on where it is. There are other Ashlyn questions if you'd like to pick one.
Yes. Yeah. I've had Mixtape on my wish list.
That one?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go with the first one then. So Ashlyn's asked there, I've talked about. Yeah, sorry, let me just go this. I've had a mixtape on my wish list. Seems like forever now. I'm pretty excited about it. But do you think it'll have a Don't Nod type story with all of the emotions and feelings? What are you hoping with mixtape will be like for both of you? So Beethoven and Dinosaurs mixtape.
Yes. So if you played Artful Escape, it's not as Don't Nod-esque, but it's still emotional. It's just a
Yeah,
different flavor of emotional. So it's a different writer, it's a different team. It's like they're all like their own kind of flavor.
yeah,
So I don't think it's going to be Don't Nod flavor, but the best way I can put it, it's kind of like if Don't Nod is risotto, then Beethoven Dinosaur is paella. Like they're both rice dishes that are just like but they're different consistencies, different flavors, but it's still
yeah.
a rice dish, nonetheless. So, I think my hopes for mixtape is it's going to be a shorter game. It's going to be a much shorter game
Mhm.
than Lost Records.
Yeah,
But I think it's going to be a lot more concentrated on that night because again, mixtape is going to be the night before like you graduate. I believe it's like the last night of high school in like the 80s and 90s.
yeah.
So I think it's going to be very concentrated on that night. It's going to be very concentrated on that feeling of your last night.
Mm,
So rather than like a social impact, I think it's going to be more of like a reminiscing of what childhood was.
yeah. I think I think that's going to be the main thing as well. Like it's funny as well because like even their time frame is short as well for mixtape compared to like even the first Life is Strange, like how many days it's set over and when in the actual game experience. But I think you're right though with the feeling part because I think that's where the soundtrack's so important to a game like
Mhm.
that with Beethoven and Dinosaur and mixtape. Um, I'm very excited for it. I kind of want it to be its own thing. I don't really want to be it won't be a Don't Nod clone. It's not like that. It's got some interesting things that I've heard and read about it,
Yeah.
and it does look interesting. I'm just hoping that they can pick up the media marketing and get people excited for it again because obviously delays do impact things, and the kind of like euphoric rush will fizzle away from something like that. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I hope it's kind of just more, I think this is where it's kind of like a full on test with the music and getting where the music kind of drives the story forward because I think that's really going to hit the elements within the game,
Yeah.
especially during some of the wacky scenes as well, which we've seen.
Mhm. I
I'm looking
think
forward to TPing houses, which is part of the game.
yes. I think with Stranger Things really coming into play, like people want to reminisce back in the 80s and 90s. Cassette tapes are coming back insanely. Like cassette tapes are coming back for some reason. I'm thinking about picking up some cassette tapes myself just because I don't
It
know.
was like the vinyls, wasn't it? The vinyls had to come back.
Yeah, vinyls had to come back. Cassettes are similar. They're not going to have like the biggest boom like vinyls
Mm,
were, cassettes are coming back, I think, due to Stranger Things. I
yeah,
really do think so. I think due to like that 80, we're in a time frame where like the 80s and 90s are coming back in like a strong force, and I don't think it was directly because of Stranger Things. I think Stranger Things may have um may have been the catalyst where it was
mm.
already happening.
It's because
But now
it's because the 80s and the 90s, the new 60s, because we're old.
yeah, honestly, it honestly is true. It's now the new 60s and 70s. It's like the retro
Mm.
time. Um, yeah, honestly. But yeah, so I'm gonna say that like I think if they ride out the coattails of that 80s, 90s nostalgia, right? Which it already is, I think it will have like unfortunately with Annapurna, I don't really think that Annapurna has the same marketing power as Devolver Digital does.
Mm.
Uh, but they're still backed by Annapurna. They're still
Yeah,
backed by a publisher. That publisher is now, Bones now. It's now like who knows who's running Annapurna at this point. It's just like a ghost studio right now. But they do have a publisher. They do have the 80s, 90s nostalgia coming back. It is cassette tape space, and cassette tapes are coming back. I think they're gonna have a push. I think 2026 will sell a lot. Not
yeah.
a lot, a lot in their perspective.
Yeah, I think the budgets are smaller as well with these kind of games, and It's with a it's a reasonable niche. It's a niche game with. I think the Australian government might have some involvement in this in terms of like funding and stuff. I'm pretty sure
Yep.
that Beethoven and Dinosaur have done something there, and it's not like it's an realistic like expectation for a project
Sure.
where you try to sell it from a publisher. So, it'd be interesting to see where it goes. And obviously, Hideo Kojima played it and gave a big thumbs up as well to the man himself,
Yeah.
Johnny
Huge thing.
Galvatron, the studio lead, which
Yeah.
is amazing as well. It probably was like something from Kojima's dream, that game.
It's like, here's the thing about Kojima too. Like Kojima gets like stuck on things. Like when he likes something, he's like he hyper fixates on that thing.
Also, and when he doesn't like things because there's even articles where he does the one-line tweets. He's like, "I watched X thing."
Yeah,
it's like
exactly. I think with Kojima's backing in terms of just like, oh, this game was right, because he does get hyper fixated. Like when he likes something, he likes something.
Yeah.
So the fact that he liked Mixtape, I'm not trying to say that like Kojima's going to like shout it from the mountaintops, but I think we will see like maybe a retweet from Kojima.
I hope so. If I was Beethoven and Dinosaur, I'd get Hunter Schafer in the game right now because it would be all of that.
Yeah.
I love. If you ever get a chance, go and look at the Hunter Schafer Kojima lore at the minute. It's amazing. Like since OD and stuff like that, he's a big fan of Hunter Schafer, and like they just have a really good vibe with each other. And
that's what I mean. He gets hyper fixated once he knows he likes Hunter. He's like, I love Hunter, or even Guillermo del Toro. Like he gets hyper fixated. It's crazy, man. Kojima's he's a character.
And he doesn't like collect people. He just has a good like. I think when he vibes with someone, he really likes them. So it's same with like Max McLoughlin, and like with even I think when people like that kind of reputation, he's like a celebrity hoarder kind of thing. It's like not really. That's like Jeff Keighley's tag more than that.
No. He has people he trusts.
Yeah.
Same thing with Michael Schur. Michael Schur is an American writer, and he has actors who he trusts. So like every show, he'll have Jason. Oh, I can't remember his last name, but it's a Greek last name, and I just can't remember what it is. But he'll stick with him. He'll stick with Ted Danson. So like he'll have people he trusts. You know, for his movies.
But yeah, thank you for the question and thingy. Should we go into another one as well?
Yeah.
Try and go through a couple more as well for the first part. Where are you now? I'm gonna move this over here. I'll keep moving us back and forth. So
I guess since we're looking at Kevin, we'll take one of his.
Kevin Lackner. Which Kevin Lackner would you like? Should we go on Life is Strange? It's been a while since we had Life is Strange.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
If Chloe had a superpower, what superpower would she have?
Super bong smoking.
I think cutting the bureaucracy at Square Enix power and being called by a name. Yes, weird with Chloe.
I think she would have a destructive power, though. Oh, honestly, though, like because if you look at Max, right? If you look at Max's power, it is about regrets. It is about like indecisiveness. Max is a very indecisive character. So with that rewind power, it's like, oh, I don't know if I did. Like very, very anxious person, right? What did I make the right call? I don't know. Whereas Chloe can be a bull in a china shop. Like Chloe, when she doesn't like somebody, she wants to destroy that person. She's very decisive, and that's not really her. Like, no, I made the right move. Like very stubborn, right?
Yeah.
So I think it would be more of a destructive power. I don't know. I like a lot like Daniel's.
Yeah.
Daniel is Daniel lost something very young. He's very angry and doesn't know how to control his emotions. Therefore, like he has a very destructive power.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be the same as Daniel's, but I think it would be destructive.
Yeah, it's interesting that I feel like when they did BTS, it felt like they always tried to put a power on her in the sense of like that back talk thing. It felt like a humanistic power kind of thing that you were giving her. It'd be interesting when you brought Daniel up as a comparison. It'd be interesting you gave her a power and she couldn't control it. And it just kind of activates in its own moments. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, and she's very decisive about it. She doesn't regret anything about it. But yeah, I think it is. I think it would be not necessarily like blowing things up, but maybe even like getting into somebody's head. I don't know, like psychological destruction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Almost like almost like a Magneto, bending metal and
There you
whatnot.
go.
Yeah.
Magnetist. Yeah, that would be interesting. That I don't know why I was thinking Rogue then for a minute, when she can like take other people's powers. I was like, yeah, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
that's not also the bad idea because Chloe doesn't really have an identity. Chloe once had an identity,
Yeah,
but without that, without another parent in the house, and then there's another parent coming in, she doesn't know who she is anymore.
yeah.
Which is why she goes into the punk rock, and even Frank calls her out, like saying, like, you're trying too hard in BTS, like you're trying too hard to be hard, So even a Rogue, where she takes other people's personality, that's not a bad call either.
I love Rogue Work. I love that in the films as well. I love when she gets the streak in her hair as well. How they do that. That's really cool. Can't believe they caught her from that.
She gets
From
very dark in the comics too.
yeah. I don't think they really went too far down with the road with Rogue. Like I think is it Days of Future Past? Like they cut the Rogue edition, the Rogue cut that they did as well. I was like, why'd you cut that? It's actually a pretty good sequence, but it kind of makes
Oh,
sense why they did it.
you would love the one series called The Astonishing X-Men. A Rogue is a
Mm.
big character in Astonishing X-Men, so
Ah.
you would like that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think with Chloe, she either can turn into a butterfly, which would be my power for her. So she can turn into a pretty, pretty butterfly, or she
Yes.
gets the Juggernaut's hat on from the X-Men. She's like, "I'm
From
the
X-Men.
Juggernaut, bitch," and she just like charges through walls like Black Widow.
Basically, she's an
Like,
X-Men.
yeah, basically, yeah.
She gets Cyclops' powers, yeah.
It's kind of hard because, like, for me, like my kind of real feeling is she doesn't need a power. Like, not everyone needs powers. That's what makes
Yeah.
powers like it fits for
But like
certain people.
Kevin says, like, if she had one, what would it be? If the tides change and Max doesn't have the powers and Chloe does, I think it would be destructive.
Yeah,
Destructive or personality hiding, like you were saying with Rogue.
yeah, or maybe like even destructive, but in the sense of like it's uncontrolled and it kind of like manifests in terms of when
Yeah.
anger activates. It has that moment. I don't know why I'm thinking of Psyduck at the moment when he does confusion, but it's kind of like that when Misty Psyduck, like when it becomes really powerful.
I
And can,
know Psyduck, but it's
yeah,
just Chloe just wandering around and she gets like anxious, like, oh my head.
Yeah, I think because it's weird as well because like even Alex Chen's power kind of relates to it, not being an
Ooh,
empath but sensing powers, like sensing
sorry,
other people's feelings.
you just reminded me. When is the new season of Pokemon Concierge coming out? Because you brought up Psyduck. You brought up Psyduck. Have you seen Pokemon? Oh, dude, it's
It
so
died for
cute.
me a long time ago, unfortunately. They milked it too much.
Pokemon Concierge. It's like a claymation on Netflix.
On
It's very
Netflix.
cute, and Psyduck is the main character, so it's
Oh,
so
very
cute.
nice. That's cute.
Yeah, it's
That
very
is
cute.
cute. Right. Should we go into another question?
Yeah.
So let's have a
When
look at
season
this.
2? What?
Wait,
Season 2 was released? When?
Adam,
Oh God.
focus.
Okay. Yes.
Right. Next question. Clark's Lost Fun, whichever way you'd like to go. Where are we going?
Let's do Clark's.
Right. So I'm going to leave that one for Max and Chloe because we did that in another one.
Is that a spicy picture?
What's that?
Is that a spicy profile picture, or is like I can't tell? No, it's not. It's not that spicy. It's very cute.
No.
Okay. I was like, is that a spicy?
Stitching it up. Maybe that one's actually interesting. After a
Yeah.
handful of interviews with devs and VAs, what's the most surprising behind the scenes revelation about Life is Strange's creation, music, or content?
I'll let you take this one because you had more than I did.
Yeah, it's kind of hard sometimes. I forget about how much has been said and how much being. Yeah, there's quite a lot that's been said that I think there's a lot of been said in the interviews that I've done, which wasn't really said before. And I had a nosy at that question before I started because I was like, I need to kind of have a think about it. I was really
Yeah.
interested when Danielle Vivartis came on. She was Rachel
Mm.
Amber's mocap actor in Before the Storm. She's really fantastic. I loved her. She's got a great personality. And it's when she was talking about Rachel Amber's walk, which I thought was really thingy. She's like, she walked in a certain kind of way, and she spent quite a bit of time walking it. When you see Rachel walking around in the lamppost, and she's walking that way, like she learned that walk while she's doing it. And it felt, I didn't realize that the level that they went to get that walk down, because I remember with Max's walk, it was very specific in a certain kind of way. That was an interesting revelation that kind of came from it. Again, kind of knew about it before, but like with Serena kind of reaffirming the Max approach with Life is Strange 1 and kind of talking about Max's walk with that, I thought that was really interesting. So it kind of, again, played into that neurodivergent side of her, but obviously Michelle came on here and shattered my hearts and dreams because he's just a deep introvert instead. No, I'm joking. Those two were really interesting ones. I think Gabrielle was quite funny as well. I think there's one memory she has in there, which is when she's doing the mocap with Frank's actor. I think it's Regius. I can't remember his name, but she's saying she did one of the scenes with Frank's actor and mocap at mocap lab. And I think it's when he starts yelling at Chloe, and he like charged at her, like he went full blown into like the actual performance, and she like went running off with it. And she was a young girl at that point. I think she was like 16, I think it was, when she did the motion capture with she did the motion capture with the team in mocap labs. So yeah, I think those were some of the funnier ones where it was kind of revelations. There must be quite a few, to be honest. There's quite a few, I think, in there. Yeah, there's quite a lot of stuff that's been said.
I think the biggest revelation is that Stephen Frost. Stephen Frost? Is it Stefan?
Stefan.
Yes. Yeah, when Stefan Frost is actually like a real human being. That was a revelation. And not just an enigma of your imagination. In a real revelation for me, I would say just collectively, like we all know like how hard it is to like make a game and like be an actor in a game.
Yeah.
It's more of just like hearing it like directly from the person, just like the struggles, especially Stephen Frost's like journey into the games industry, where I had the question of is it more of like what you know or who you know?
Yeah.
And he goes into like, well, this is how I got into the industry, and it's just like a collective like what he knows and who he connected with and like the struggles that he went through. So it's always interesting to hear people's journey into the games industry and how it's not a linear path. You just kind of like fall into it in a working kind of sense, you know. In that and Becker Shaw's like how he got laid off. That was like, oh man, that's brutal, you know.
Yeah, those like the highs and lows, even speaking to the devs and kind of like see, I think we're like in terms of the stories and things that have been learned behind the scenes and stuff. I think with Frost as well, it was quite interesting to learn about the expanse and the development that, and him getting involved in the mocap and stuff. I think when he did tour and stuff, that was interesting. What's his face in that as well? The inspiration behind Khan, which was a big one, where it's based on. Because we were a big fan of Khan from The Expanse with Lily Akama playing another great act. That's another great interview.
Great interview with Lily. Yeah,
I really enjoyed. I've enjoyed all the, like, even with Zach Andrews. Zach Andrews was a really funny one as well. With I think because he comes on and he was even talking about. I think at one point he says Meisner, and then both me and you look at it, it's like we're like Erica loves Meisner, and he's like, oh my god, it's like you know as well as go there. But no, I think it's the same with the devs and even devs, actors, and not everyone else who's kind of been on and done interviews. They have all been quite interesting. Just some of them have kind of faded in the back of my mind though. But there were moments in each of them which were really interesting to kind of like gauge of perspective and stuff. Emma's was a big one actually. That was a big one when Emma talked about Sean and Daniel potentially being in the comics and they didn't happen. So it's when Rachel, Chloe, and Max were on the road and they bump into Brody and they're on the road trip, and she said that one of the ideas was that on the potential they wouldn't bump into the Diaz brothers because they're literally on that trajectory road when they were doing that, which was like. I'm like, oh, and she's like, but the Don't Nod team were making Life is Strange 2 at the time. They didn't know if it was going to mess up with like where they're going and stuff, but that was a big one. And actually, another one from Emma's interview was the fact that the road trip that the girls take is an actual road trip. You can do it. So Emma did research that. So when they're in the van with Gladys, that is a road trip you can do. She actually researched it from start to finish, so you can actually go and do that road trip in its entirety, which is a very cool kind of thing with that. There's tons of stuff there. There's so much stuff in there. There's so much great stuff, as we said in those interviews, like wild stuff as well. It's like, oh my god, all great personalities, right? Really great actors. It's great to have like talked to them. So yeah.
Damn. Yeah. I would say that's our answers. Yeah.
So yeah, great people. So that's that. So I think by logical order, we go to the Lost Fan here because thingy. Let's have a look at this. Should we go to
Oh,
this one actually? I think this will be a
I was
few.
surprised you were going to go for that one. I want you to answer that first.
What are your favorite books of all time?
Yes.
Um,
I'm going to let you go first. Which Garfield comic are you going for first?
Jesus Christ! I was gonna say the Camp Communist Manifesto. I was like, I read it every night with Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. Oh God, what books are there? American Psycho was a great book when I read that with Bret
It's
Easton
such a
Ellis.
red
Like, oh
flag.
my, what do you mean?
It's such a red flag.
Oh, don't do that. I hate when people do
My
that.
favorite book is American Psycho.
No, what said? Did it say favorite books? I think it says books.
Yes, your
Yeah,
favorite books.
All right. Well, I've read American Psycho, but I think it probably would be one of my favorite books. It is a very, very good book.
Yeah.
What? The contents of the book are great for that. I think American Psycho is a great book. Oh, what else have I read? What else have I read? Oh dear, my God, my mind has gone blank. What have you read?
Any like psychology books you read that you really like?
We're still working our way through those. And I wouldn't say it's my favorite book. I don't say I sit here thinking like my Carl Rogers book is my favorite book of all time. Like I'm not gonna be like giving him that kind of kudos. Yeah, I'm not a book reader, unfortunately. That's the unfortunate part. That went on to the. This is you and Erica Mori situation. If Erica Mori was here and Adam was here, and both of them were collectively, the podcast would be taken over. It'd be game over.
Yes.
So
I am going to bring up some images as I talk.
uh,
Bam. So I'm gonna give you 3 books that I really, really like. 3. All of them are gonna be like different genres and feeling. I like darker stories, as you can like probably tell. I do like the darker stories, so I'm not like take that with a grain of salt, if you will. But the very first book, there we go. Very first book I'm going to talk about is a book called Between Two Fires, from Christopher Buehlman. Now, this was like a book that's gotten really popular recently, due to book talk, but I read through this fairly recently, like past few years. This book, my God, it is such a dark medieval, not even a fantasy, it is medieval horror. It is takes place between an excommunicated knight, an abandoned monk, and this girl that they have to deliver to France. And I'm not going to say like why. I think you should go into this book cold. But what's really special about this book is that it goes into the flaws of each character and how
yeah.
they got to where they were. So I'm going to say this at the very end, there are no winners. It's not a happily ever after. It is very a dark and very human tale.
Ooh.
So I will say that Between Two Fires is an excellent pickup. So really, really go for that. The other book I'm going to talk about is
Ooh.
yes. Ready for this? So this is a philosophy book. And it's a very I'm gonna say this. It's a very fun philosophy book. No, don't save image. So it's a philosophy book by the Voltaire, right? So
Oh yes.
Voltaire has written this book called Candide. So Candide, I think it's pronounced Candide, but Candide is a character within a journey going through the world and just seeing like how the world thinks, how the world functions, and it's all about like where do you see? And again, I like this as a philosophy book because this is a story. This isn't really about like
Yeah.
almost like a John Stuart Mill, where it's very like on liberty, where it's more of a dissertation. Candide
Yeah.
is very much a story into how the world functions and how you can live within the world, and more think about what your community is. So I'm
Yes.
going to say that Candide, very, very fun read because it is a very funny philosophy. Voltaire likes to give you a nice look at philosophy rather than like again, John Stuart Mill gives you his argument, his dissertation. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna say that. And then the very last book I'm gonna give you is
I've got
a
2
horror.
books, by the way. I've
You
remembered
got
those now.
okay. Well, I'm bringing up the last book because this one is one of my favorite books of all time because it's stuck with me. But say your 2 books.
Oh, no, go for it. I'm interrupting the flow here.
Okay, so this is a book from Sarah Gran, and this has stuck with me. It's not really controversial, but it's not an easy read. It's a very short read, but it's not easy, and I love it, dude. It is called "Come Closer" by Sarah Gran. I dog dog. I love this book, dude. It's so good. Please read this with ambient horror.
Mhm.
There's a musical artist by the name of Glaciant. Uh, any one of his soundtracks, literally any soundtrack from Glaciant, and
Yes.
then read Come Closer. This is by far one of the wildest takes on demon possession. If this is kind of like a trigger for you that you can't really talk anything about um internal thoughts or demon possession, if that really frightens you, don't read this book because Sarah Gran really gets realistic of how demon possession
Mhm.
comes into a person. It's not like very dramatized because again, it's a short read. But
Yes.
if you struggle with that, if you get really scared of that, this book's not for you. But if you're in for like a really good um thriller and it's going to get your heart beating, dude, Come Closer by Sarah Gran.
Mhm.
Dog. Let's go, baby. This is the Michael Jordan of horror books, dude. I won't say that, but it is one of my favorites of all time. So Come Closer by Sarah Gran.
Mhm.
So
Very
you
nice.
got Candide by Voltaire, Come Closer by Sarah Gran, and Between Two Fires by Christopher Moltner.
Very nice. Very nice picks. I got 2. I just remembered off the top of my head. It's like the light bulb has finally come back on in my head.
Pullman, not Mjolnir,
Um,
Pullman.
One of my favorite books I read was Walter Isaac's Steve Jobs autobiography, which I
Of
thought
course,
was
it's
fascinating. He's fascinating. He's a
yes.
genius. He was truly a we might. I don't like the thing where it's like he's messed up, blah blah. There's a lot of things with Steve Jobs to dictate why he
Mhm.
acted the way that he did. It's representative, indicative of his person. But as someone who changed and revolutionized the 20th and 21st century, he is there. Like in a
Yes.
way that he just saw things in the way that I think some people still can't see it in that way. I think I think there's like is it the Apple, the Macintosh or something, even on the board as well. Like they've all signed it by the people who made it, like the first iterations of the Macintosh. They had the people's signature, but the way that they made, you can go watch Pirates of Silicon Valley if you want to get a good idea of Steve Jobs and
Yeah.
Bill Gates and what they actually like
I
took
like
advantage of. But
Ashton Kutcher.
oh god, don't talk about Ashton Kutcher. That's the bloody film, isn't it? The Jobs film. Oh my god, that's
Yes.
horrible.
The
This
Ashton
film
Kutcher one.
the film was good by Danny Boyle with Michael Fassbender
Yeah.
as Steve Jobs.
Oh,
That
there
was
he
a
is
very
right
good
there.
film.
The fifth image in that. Oh no. Sorry. I for like a hot second I thought that was Ashton Kutcher for like a hot second.
So yeah, that's I think yeah. Oh, well, yeah, bloody Ashton Kutcher does look like him, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, honestly,
um,
dude.
yeah,
Ashton Kutcher.
this was a very good book. If you ever want to read like a biography on someone, like yeah, it's fascinating. Like they nailed so
Yes.
much of that, and I would recommend it. And then the other one is actually one of my more favorite books I have for a long time, and it's probably one of my more hidden interests, which is The
Of
Hellbound
course,
Heart
of course.
by Clive
We're not
Barker,
shocked.
which
Yes.
Hellraiser is one of my favorite franchises. Even when the Hellraiser fans go through the hardships of the Life is Strange fans are trying to get iterations and good films from it, they don't come much.
Yes.
The Hellbound Heart is a very interesting piece of literature.
Mm.
And the way he writes it as well. Like I always laugh with people because like the films obviously changed. Like Clive Barker did the first film, and like even in the books as well. Like the crew, the Order of the Gash. Like most people don't like to refer to that as like a name for something, but I loved Hellraiser. I think it's great. Very excited for the game that's coming out as well. I look forward to seeing them do that as well. It still blows my mind that we're getting that in the 21st century. But an absolute classic. So if you do want to read something, The Hellbound Heart is a good one. Clive
Mhm.
Barker is a very interesting figure. So those would be the ones from
Yeah.
me.
I wish I had some fun picks for you guys, but I like I like I like darker books, man. Like I like it. So there's that. I
There you
can
go.
give you some fun games, but books are a different story.
Yes, there
Pun
you go.
intended.
Jesus Christ. Right, Adam, let's go back into a couple more questions before we wrap up the side A part as
Yes.
well. Maybe we go for here. Maybe we can work up these ones.
Okay.
Let's go for that one, actually. Let's go with the second question. This is from
Okay.
Ashlyn Nala, and they said, my second question is this, which we'll come on to the first question in a little bit. My question I've been waiting to ask you: how would you think about the next Life is How would you think about the next Life is Strange game being kind of like The Last of Us 2, where there can be
Oh,
two
okay.
storylines going on? Start off as Max, and then you start as Chloe or another character, and bounce back and forth until you meet in the middle to try and stop Safi.
It's not a bad idea. It's just about
It's about the
it's
budgets,
not
eh?
it's it's not a bad idea. It's you're asking something that like who can deliver that, right?
Yeah,
So you're asking, Kevin Hart to deliver a Bill Burr joke. You know what I
yeah.
mean? It just when which by the way, Bill Burr did the Saudi Arabia deal to go to the Comedy Store, so I don't know how I feel about him anymore. Even though he was already a character in and of himself, but
Mm,
what a sellout. But what I'm going to say is that, like, again, I don't think you're wrong, Ashlyn. I think that would be a fun idea. It's just a matter of who is delivering that idea, right? So, take for example, uh, I'm trying to think of like a spin-off. Well, I mean, look what Deck Nine is doing with Life is Strange. It's completely different. But I'm thinking of like another example where somebody took over a franchise and they didn't really know how to deliver that franchise. We're talking about like spin-offs and all that it just doesn't really work if it doesn't come from the same mindset,
mm,
right? So I think why Last of Us 2 worked in that direction is because there was a plan involved in that. As much as we want to like knock on Neil Druckmann, as much as we'd love to on this podcast, he at least knows about story perspective. Like he at least has a plan for perspective. Uh Whether the game plays out like that's a different story. But he here's the thing about Neil Druckmann. He is a filmmaker, not necessarily a game designer. And I know he went to school for game designer, but he really likes short films. He really likes film direction. That's
mm,
why his games lean towards a film rather than a video game, right?
mm,
Same thing with Michel Coe. Michel Coe is an environmental artist, which is why the environment really plays into a lot of his games.
mm,
So you're asking for a direction that is in the mindset of a film director. But if you're getting to the mind of a game director, sometimes that doesn't really correlate with how the game can play out. So my thing is it's like again, Ashlyn, I don't think that's a bad idea. I think that's fun. Who's delivering the pizza? Like
mm.
that's the thing. Who's delivering that pizza to the doorstep? So it's really
Toby
comes down
Maguire
to Toby Maguire
from
pizza
Spider-Man 2
time.
is delivering it. No, it's an interesting perspective. I didn't actually think about that much as for Life is Strange.
Mm,
Um, it could. It's very hard. There's a very fine line with working with this with double protagonists or duo protagonists, and you change things
mhm.
because I'm even thinking. I remember when I played. I remember when I played Devil May Cry 4, and people did not want to play as Nero. They're like, I don't want
Yeah,
to play as him. Do not like him. Then they're like, oh, hang on a minute. The devil arm's really cool. Then next minute,
yeah,
the game switches you later to becoming Dante, and then you're like, hang on a minute. Oh, cool. I'm
yeah,
playing as Dante, but then you're like, he's not that interesting actually. As like all the ability he's got, and then you were retreading the map. So the same thing happens with The Last of Us Part Two.
yes,
Whilst the timelines are going on at the same time, you kind of go from Ellie to Abby, and then you're kind of sitting there thinking like, oh, I kind of like wanted them a bit more. And ironically, if I compare it to another game where it's like Metal Gear Solid 2, Raiden and Snake, I'm glad that you're
yeah,
separate, where you stay as the
yes.
separate ones and you stay completely
Naked
separate.
Snake.
No, no, Adam, no, stop it. That's not Solid
Naked
Snake. I'm gonna get the meme out. Wrong game. No, 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 no. Um, so yeah, I think I think it's an interesting approach. The budgets would be too much for this kind of game to happen.
Mhm.
And Yeah, I think I have a very big thing with trying to handle too many protagonists because I'll actually take Michel's comment on this as well, where he said that the girls couldn't
Mhm.
be controlled in Lost Records, and he wanted one character fixed because
Yeah.
unless it's in the DLC, for example, with Final Fantasy 15, you play as Noctis, you just play as Noctis, and out of the four of them, and letting you change between characters can kind of be a bit detrimental because you do it with different games where you can rotate the character. You don't get the same player agency with that person
Mm.
because you're constantly switching back and forth. Like the main protagonist is the character you control. You sticking with them, and very few games that kind of handle that kind of like energy back and forth. Um, and then also one other thing that goes with Life is Strange, and this is where I think like the Deck Nine formula and stuff
Yeah.
starts to fall apart, is the fact that it's a coming of age story. So you kind of losing the vein of like you're telling someone's story, you're following that character and going through that.
Yeah.
And you have to set parameters with two protagonists. The same again with Assassin's Creed 3. Like you have to set them like you have a logical start point with one, you end it, and then you continue on with the next one. You have to really put your borders down. And for me, this the only thing would be here is you're going to keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Whose story are we
Yeah.
telling? Is it really a coming of age story? Is it just the we stop
That's what I
Safi
mean.
kind of story?
It's a matter of who's delivering it because again,
Yeah.
you can really tell behind who the game designer is. Take for example, like there is a new thank God that No Clip finally is releasing this, but the creation of Disco Elysium
Yeah.
and the game developers, the writers are artists. Like they came from art families. Like their families loved art. And you can tell from Disco Elysium that it is very art centered because their minds go towards art. Even Johnny Galvatron, designing Artful Escape. Johnny Galvatron is very much in a music mindset. He's very musical. And you can tell that with Artful Escape. You can tell that with Mixtape. So it's just a matter of like who is making that game, and it should be coming from a filmmaker. Like somebody who is a filmmaker should be designing that game, not necessarily a game designer. I don't know if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
No, I know what you're saying. Yeah, it's a very hard one, man. Like I've if we were where we're at with WDE2, maybe that could be something you try and explore
Yeah.
and shift perspectives. But there's just a thing because it's like, for example, if you shift between characters, Max has a power, but then does the other character have a power, Chloe? And you start kind of like moving back and forth. Has
Yeah.
that Dante Nero effect? I think that it's a hard one. It's a really hard task to pull off, and I think some games get trapped in it as well. I think Final Fantasy has done that in the
Yeah.
past, where you rotate between protagonists and stuff and change with them. I think like sometimes it's better just to fix someone as that character and you stay as them. So, but no, very interesting nonetheless.
Yeah.
Adam, next comment. Should we go to KGL? See what's being said here.
Yeah. Let's see what KGL is saying to us.
So I'm surprised there's no Christoph Waltz questions in here, and like
Yeah.
what's the favorite films of Christoph Waltz, but as you will. So I'm going to go up here. We'll come back to the Lost Records one for that next part. Let's go with this one, actually. I think this is interesting. Do you think, this is from KJL Kevin, do you think Kate should have had more scenes in Life is Strange 1? If so, what would you like to explore more about her?
I think this was answered with the hospital scene. I think they wanted to have more Kate. They didn't know they should have more Kate scenes, and that's where the hospital scene came in. Like, oh, you actually like Kate? In the same way that the Duffer Brothers. I'm going to bring up Stranger Things a lot now because I just rewatched it. But the Duffer Brothers, in season 4, where they killed off Chrissy in like the first episode because she's the protagonist to what the whole season was about. So not really a spoiler alert. But when they killed off Chrissy, but she's having scenes with Eddie. When she's having scenes with Eddie, the Duffer Brothers in that scene were just watching the chemistry between the two actors, but they already wrote that Chrissy is being killed off. They're like, oh shoot. Oh shoot, there's so much chemistry with these actors. We shouldn't have done this. Same thing with this. I don't think Michelle or any of the writers knew or anybody involved, I should say. Not just the writers, but like anybody involved in that thing. They're like, "Oh yeah, Kate will be a main stay away for a lot of these fans." So, yeah, I think there should have been. I absolutely do think there should have been, but 2020 is it's hindsight is 2020, whatever the phrase is.
Yeah.
I would like to see her family come in. I would like to see her father come in and try to like talk her off the ledge, essentially. Not really pun intended, that was a bad term. But like really like get like Kate back into the mental space, but her
Mhm.
mom may be like manipulative. That's what I would like to see. I would like to see more of her family than anything else.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. My controversial probably take is no, I wouldn't want to see more of her because
Mm,
the story is so concentrated. Kate's just a part of that. She's not a main
yeah.
focus more than that. If you were making a bigger game and they reimagine Life is Strange, or telling more stories, then maybe you could do it. Maybe there's like a red herring scene where you could use Kate to kind of connect more of the story in terms of she has like flashback experiences to kind of like, maybe dangle another red herring ahead of you finding out who Jefferson is. Maybe. But I think like
Mm,
her purpose in the story is her purpose in the story. I think where she's
yeah.
at and stuff like I think the added extra scene that they were able to put in with Kate in in the production stage was, I think, perfect. Actually, I think that's the kind of this is where the question would be asked if they didn't add it. I think this would add in that kind of like flavor for it because Kate's entire story arc finishes by the second episode. Like that second episode, she is culminating up to that point to set it up. If you try and bring her back into story integration, you're going to start unbalancing the dynamic of things. You could probably bring her into scenes where there's maybe other characters, and if you want to kind of flesh that out, then maybe. But I think that it would just be destructive on the narrative because that's probably one of Life is Strange's best strengths, where it's just constantly like it's like a teen
Mm,
drama. It's constantly going, and the main focus is always Max, Chloe, and Rachel. They're the main focus of the game until like each of them kind of fall off. More so Rachel when she falls off eventually. Like by the time we get to the
mm,
fifth episode, Rachel Amber's like whatever, we don't really care at this point because we've kind of served her purpose with that. But I think like you have to kind of keep it concentrated. So I think at this point, I really wouldn't add anything more to Kate. I think like what we got was actually perfect where it turned out the way that it did.
mm,
Anything else just is too much. It becomes ironically like an episode season filler. When we put a padded episode in where they put the
yeah.
extra things in, it's like that's not needed, that episode. It's like we could have just carried on without, even Lost
Mm,
was susceptible to that when it did those kind of padded episodes. It's like that really needed, like get rid of it.
yeah. Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
big from TV. Like you need to keep your characters in control. Same with Steph Gingrich and like BTS. We saw enough of Steph. We didn't need to see more of her in BTS. It's like that's the limit of it. Don't start inserting
That
more
was
scenes
enough of
for
Katie
the sake
Benz.
of it.
Nobody needs more Katie Benz in their life.
You never get enough of Kate Vance. Love Katie. She's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like that's enough. I think the only one that I'd probably say is that question's wrong because it should be how many scenes of Alyssa can we get? Because like that's Diane Hutton's best character. I don't know why everyone gets
Yes.
so happy about Kate. Like
Kate
Alyssa's the
Marsh.
goat. I think the only scene we were missing was basically like Alyssa destroying the tornado at the end. She's just like
Yeah.
gets Max's power and she takes control. She's like, I've had enough, Max, of your BS, and then she just takes a power rogue style and destroys it. And that's
Yeah.
how I would have ended it as well. I would have put like Finn at the end with full stop, but it finishes, and then just Michelle Cole like this with his hands up like that, and then Raoul Barbe fading in as well with his hands. So that would be
Yeah.
my kind of thing. Yeah, I think I'm fine where we're at.
Yeah, the point is like no matter what you write, no matter what you do, you're never gonna know what's gonna be the hits. You never know. You just never know. And so like if you try to make everything a hit, if you try to make every character the main character, no
Yeah.
one's gonna be special anymore.
No. And it causes too much disruption on the flow of the story and what you could insert, what you couldn't, and some things happen for the reason some things don't. It's best just to kind of leave them there. So as you will. But yeah, thank you for the question, KJL. I think we'll go to Clark's Adam. We'll kind of get a couple more questions in as much as we can for this part.
Yes.
Because we did stick on some of the topics, so apologies. Let's have a look with Clark's. We'll leave that one for the next part. I think that might be a little
Okay.
more spicy. Because is it 11th? Oh, should we do that one now? Or will we get
Yeah,
the
let's do
episode
it
out by
now.
the end?
Let's do it now.
Right. So this one's from Clark's. It says, okay, so any Life is Strange / Don't Nod predictions for the Game Awards in terms of reveals? DE2 question mark. Dun, dun, dun.
I'm gonna say this right now that if Don't Nod is making a Stranger Things game, it coming out December 11th, like the reveal, not the game, but like the reveal coming out. I cannot stress enough how perfect timing that would be because we just got the first 4 episodes. So we got introduced to season 5. The next part of the season is coming out Christmas Day, December 25th, with the finale coming out December 31st. So we just got first 4. We're waiting for the next ones for a month. to have that reveal at one of the biggest stages in games right now,
Yeah.
when you're in the middle of season 5, the final closer, I'm telling you right now, if you don't market it at that event, you're cooked. I'm sorry, but like if that's what you're doing, if you're doing a Stranger Things game, the perfect December 11th is the perfect time to get people hyped and like pre-ordering, dude. Like I'm saying that right now. So if that's what they're doing, I'm hoping to see it then. In terms of
just on them as well. I don't know why you think it's Stranger Things. It's obviously Michelle Coe x Emma Myers collaboration we've got on here.
Emma
It's like this
Myers.
is the one.
Well, who knows? Maybe Emma Myers is playing a character in Stranger Things. Testing the waters a little bit.
See,
I would, yeah,
with the Don't Nod Montreal project as well.
yeah. If it's Stranger Things, if big if, we don't know.
Where is the Game Awards? It's in LA, isn't it? Yeah,
It's in LA. Yeah,
yeah. And I'm a Snoopy bastard for a lot
I
of
know.
things. Yeah,
Yes, they were in LA. Yes.
yeah. And who was there though? There was Michelle. There was Kathy. There was Luke. Frederica's there. I'm like, come on. I'm like, come on. And
Come
sorry,
on.
and where is Netflix based as well? If you search up Netflix's headquarters, go and have a look where it's based. I mean, like,
I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be
so
Stranger Things, dude. And
I think.
like,
Oh, go,
yeah,
sorry, go. No, go.
and like I said, dude, like you're in the eye of the storm of the hype in December 11th. Because again, I
Yeah,
just watched the first 4 episodes. I'm like, I gotta wait another month to get the second part. So we're
yeah.
all hyped. We're all talking about it. Some hot takes I've seen on TikTok, some horrible takes about the first part of the series. So hot takes on that one. The fact that like they're like, oh, now Will is gay. I'm like, Will has been gay. Like the whole thing, like since season 3, like we were like starting to like, hey, he might not be the same as the others. There was kind of like a hint, like, oh no, because he's blatant. I'm like, okay, so you don't have a gaydar. You can just say that right now. Anyways, what was I saying? I just hate people who are like, oh,
Yeah, but they do that
dumb.
about everything. It's just about everything.
I know
It's
that's like unless it's blatant in your face, like
yeah.
oh my god, which I'm also guilty of. I know my wife is listening. She's like, well, you didn't know what this character was and this character. Beyond the point. What I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to say is that like the hype is real, and if they are doing a Stranger Things game, and the Game Awards, which is the highest views of the like any other game award,
Mm,
more than the Golden Joysticks, more than, which is why I said that like the Game Awards don't really matter, but it matters in a way of like it's huge marketing,
yeah.
you know, mass viewership. People are already hyped in Stranger Things. If you do not market it during the Game Awards, the fact that Stranger Things had a Thanksgiving Day parade floats, they are trying their best to get people to buy subscriptions, dude. You know?
Yeah.
So I'm saying that like they're gonna reveal it during the Game Awards. They have to. They have to.
It,
If it is Stranger Things, they have to.
it wouldn't surprise me if it's a really, really, really vague, brief teaser. And I mean,
Oh
like,
yeah,
really.
no.
So,
Like
like,
I'm not saying
if
like
you,
detailed, but like here it is. Guess
yeah, I
what?
probably, and even if it's like early concept, like really early thing, like, so, like, it'd be like the Lost Records trailer, but even like earlier than that, where it's like just vague enough and it teases something. Because remember as well, Don't Nod has confirmed that there's a collaboration happening. Netflix has been radio silence on the entire thing since then, Netflix games, and it gives them time in itself. As you said, the Game Awards is big enough. It's like the Temu Super Bowl of video games. So it's like, for trailer wise, they're going to get it on there because everyone, like as you said, like a large portion of people watch it. Netflix will pay for the trailer and the stage on there. Jeff Keighley's dropping those, big zeros at the end of like paying for a price to get a trailer on there. So, it doesn't make a dent in Netflix's in war chest of how much money they've got. Yeah, I would expect to see like a very vague idea of it. Whether it where and when it comes out, that's a different question. But like even if it's vague, because like Netflix would have a bigger marketing campaign for it. Obviously, again, we're not putting it in Call of Duty perspective. I'm talking about just in a small scale perspective. But um, I think like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see it. Michelle's been
Yeah.
very quiet. And when Michelle's very quiet, so it's somewhere where you watch it. I'm always watching behind the scenes. I'm like, what are you thinking? Do you see the photos? That Ruth Radley one, by the way, Adam,
Yes.
sorry, I need to show you that. I got a second.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop laughing. Someone this has to come in this. Because we haven't got the topics, but it's going to be part of the actual conversation. It relates to what Clarx is saying. So let me just pull this up. Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
So obviously they were in LA and they met Ruth Radley, which is really cool. So Michelle and
Nice.
Luke met Ruth Radley. But let me quickly see if I can scroll past it. I'm going to try and scroll past it before you can see it. I don't know if you saw it or not. So someone said here with like this is the photo there. So that's the four of them on the screen.
Nice.
Oh, I need to move this out the way. Sorry. There you go, guys. So as you can see there, Michelle, Luke Bagadust, and then obviously Bagadust, Ruth Radley, and then Adam Miller, so the four members, so four of them are together. And I posted on there saying that's very cool. And then someone put here saying, "Is that Leon the Professional?"
The hell?
So I thought, hang on a minute, because I when Michelle did it, I was like, well, hang on a minute, I need to see that.
Yeah.
I was like, I knew I seen those glasses before when he does that. I was like, where have I seen them? Spot on. I'm like, God damn.
That's crazy, dude. That's funny.
That's evil Michelle, by the way. That is Michael Colch, I think, by the way, when he puts the hat on
Michael
and the
Colch.
glasses. The Michael Colch look. So yeah, they are in LA.
Yeah.
Like for Don't Nod, it'd be that, and then Aphelion. I feel like they need to get marketing behind that.
Yeah.
Aphelion.
Aphelion gonna appear for sure because they're gonna come out on my birthday, January 6th, 2026. It's gonna happen. Knock on wood. But DE2. I'm gonna give you a 40% success rate on that one. I'm gonna say 40%. Yeah, it will be there. 60%. Don't hold your breath on it. I'm gonna say 40% chance. There's a good chance it will be there because I think they need to get hype back on it after they just axed the entire studio, so they're just trying to get something out of this. I don't think it's going to be there, but there's still a chance. I'm not saying it's zero.
No, there's no chance. There's never a zero chance in anything nowadays. I've been shown that many times with things. But I lived in a reality when things were zero sometimes. Now I don't question it. When it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because the thing is though as well, like if you did it at Game Awards, you're paying a lot of money for those trailers. And it's like, even that 300K or something, whether it's going to be a 250K to be dropped on DE2 for a game that you know is going to commercially underperform. Are you willing to spend more money on it? You've literally just, in the process of nixing the entire Square Enix London team that is working on the Life is Strange game. And I don't know if you want to spend more money on it. My only thesis at the minute as well with it is that just based on pattern trends as well, Double Exposure and True Colors came out in the same year they were announced. So True Colors came out. It was announced I think it was about the April time. It was announced at Square Enix Showcase, came out in September time, off the top of my head. And then Double Exposure was announced in June at the Xbox Showcase, came out in October, November time. So they were very much specific. It's not binary because obviously other games have not done that. Life is Strange 1 came out announced in 2014, released in 2015. Same with Life is Strange 2. I think it was announced the year before. I can't remember off the top of my head. Again, not completely fixed. Captain Spirit came out in the same year. BTS came out in the same year when it was announced. I'm just more inclined to think that if they're willing, if they're about to roll the dice for this game and get it out, the likelihood is that they go for a smaller event, whichever that might be, and then they release it in that process of that order, because the trailer costs are even more than this as well for something like this. There's never been a Life is Strange game announced at a Game Awards. It's obviously top brass, higher, and you're paying for a lot of trailers. That's why, for example, Don't Nod Montreal dropped Lost Records there as well, because it's like you obviously want to put as many eyes on a brand new IP. Yeah, I just don't know. It'd be very. I mean, the unusual's already happened in this franchise, but to get it to bleed over into next year, that's just a weird feeling for me to do with the Life is Strange team, whilst you're nixing the entire marketing team as well on top of that.
100%.
That's the other. Think about that as well in the time frame. You announce it at the Game Awards. Obviously, if we're being smart about this, they've obviously filmed stuff behind the scenes and whatever else. You'll have things in the conveyor belt of things, but you announce it in December time when you're in the process of laying people off, and they're fighting the voluntary. Well, they're fighting the voluntary. They're dealing with the voluntary redundancy thing of the UK and the laws and stuff like that. and then you're going to market it over that period of time. It's like, hang on a minute, who's going to market if you're nixing this team one by one? Are they really going to be fully committed to that kind of process? The likelihood is, if you're going to do it, which I think would be more reasonable, is you announce it next year and then you release it in that year. But then what happens is that Japan takes over the marketing of it. And I mean, when they take over the marketing, it means just get it out over the finish line and just go from there. That ultimately still doesn't eliminate the fact that this project could get cancelled. It could still happen. That I've seen far worse, incidents where things have been cancelled. So, yeah, it'd be the other thing as well. It'd get swallowed up by everything else. Like, it'd get swallowed up by all the other stuff. Like, there's so much stuff being shown there. Netflix is different though.
Yeah,
Because it's Stranger Things, isn't it?
They're going to announce DE2 the same date as Grand Theft Auto 6.
Imagine that. Yeah, be something right that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, but I have a funny feeling because that's like, at least with Netflix can throw money at that trailer for the Don't Nod game and it'd be like, whatever. It's like a splash in the water.
Like I said, like they just had a Thanksgiving Day float and Journey. They paid for Journey to be on that float, dude. So I'm saying this right now. I think we're going to get the Don't Nod Montreal game announced because again, they're in LA.
Yeah,
they're in LA. They're in
LA. It's just and all of the key the big people. I didn't see Marin. No, but like still though, to have Michelle, Luke, and Frederica in the same location, that's your brass of Don't Nod Montreal. And I'm like, you would have that there. And we even had Michelle with glasses. We had Leon the professional. We had Michelle the professional there as well. So I think like that's like where I'm at with it. So likelihood is yes with that. DE. I'm not going to say I'm deeply surprised anymore because like nothing surprises me anymore in life. I would just find it very unusual. It'd break a pattern which has been quite obvious, and the amount of money they would pay just to have it there would be absurd as well for a game that is going. This game's fate is settled. That's the worst part about it. I feel so sad as well because you set Max Caulfield will return. The fate of this game is already settled, and it's going to end in disaster and tears. Like, there's no way you can, without giving it an entire facelift from start to finish. You can't do it. The parameters are too small for that time change to happen. You might quote unquote fix something, but like the writing's kind of on the wall there. So my likelihood is that I expect them to release it in the next year. But if it is announced in December and it bleeds into next year for release, like a March, April release, again, not overly surprised. It would kind of it also kind of fit in with timelines and stuff, the way that they're going, because it might even be part of that death sentence that they're giving to the London team, where it's like, we'll actually release it in this very short time frame whilst we're laying you all off one by one. That'd be a great time, wouldn't it? It's like, can like, Izzy, can you like write that email for the PR and then just you can leave outside? It's like, oh, like to Lucy Hill, like, oh, can you edit that video and then whilst you pack your bags and stuff? It's like, honestly, it's so despicable, the entire thing. Like, and also as well, it's accountable for the journalists that are doing this, because you didn't do it during your job when you were interviewing Stauder and Felice and stuff, asking actual questions about Deck Nine and all the other studios. You didn't actually ask any remote questions where we were challenging things. You just like sat there and took the interviews. Like, pitiful. But anyway, that's a different story. So that's where I'm standing now. Well, I'm not going to answer the D2 one. Like, well, we will be here. Maybe, depends. Let's see what happens. Long term's always that. I think we've gone over now, but I think we should get one from Lost Fan because it'll complete the circle then to wrap up this part. So let's go back up here. Thank you for the questions as well. Let's go to here. So Lost Fan, let's go for there's a shorter one.
Yeah, this one on the top is short.
Yeah, okay, let's go with that. It would be a nice way to end that, actually, yeah. So Lost Fans put one more quick question. Do you spill Frank's beans on every playthrough, or do you have superhuman restraints?
100%. Like, why would you not? It's not even about superhuman strength. It's that, would you spill the beans, or are you a psychopath? Like, that's a real question. Are you just a boring librarian person? Would you ever like not spill beans on Frank? Like, are you a psychopath? Is the
like
question you're asking?
That's what happens.
Yes. Yeah,
and he
of course,
falls on his beans as well.
Like, that's like asking, do you ever not rewind when Chloe gets shot? Do you ever not rewind and just have it like bounce off of her? Like, are you boring? Yeah, I'm shooting Chloe every time, rewinding it. So yeah, no, I will spill the beans on Frank every time.
Yeah, I've always done it in my playthrough. It's just too funny. It's like a proper slapstick moment, like in this game. It's like it's very Max coded as well. The way she does it, it's like the way she just like picks up and just spills the beans. Like, oh god, yeah, always with the beans. Yeah, and that's again, but that as well. Like for example, like even Frank and his beams and the memes and stuff that came out of it. That's like the Kate situation. You just can't get a gauge of what's going to be like funny and what kind of leads to some kind of like novelty in your own thing, because it's a reference in this bed we made as well. If you actually go and play that game as well, there's an Easter egg to Frank's beans that as like kind of a thing. So you know, you never know what happens up, but yes, it's always spilling the beans. So yes, thank you, Lost Fan, for that as well. And I think we'll wrap up the side A. So thank you so much for joining us, guys. And a big shout out to our Patreon subscribers. So we have Kevin Lackner, Sunday, Clare, McLoughlin, Jake, Carly, Goldberry, Kevin Kestis, Clarx, MrAnselmi, Spunger, The Lost Fan, Paul Groschke, Xavier, and Ashlyn Nala. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for the questions. And obviously stay tuned for the side B part. We will obviously answer the next section of the questions. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you are new here, please do consider dropping subscribe on the channel, turn notifications, like video, and share with your friends. And the Lost Record Journal and StrangeCast are both available on podcast services, so you can go and check us out there. Go and rate us, go and download us. It helps boost our visibility, and you get instant access to your content as soon as it becomes available.
Yes.
Stay tuned. I have no idea when you're getting this episode. Hopefully it's in the first week of December, but we're recording the 29th. So yeah, stay tuned. The second part will be coming soon. Until next time, guys. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Ready for the mosh pit, Shaka Bra.